Hey, it's Heather. I need to mix up my everyday sourdough sandwich bread today. So I thought I would show y'all how I do that. But I thought I would first tell y'all my process because it's much easier than all the things that I read whenever I was looking into doing sourdough. Because it was something like heat up your oven for an hour with a Dutch oven in it. No, I'm not spinning up electricity on that. Some of the recipes said that. First of all, I was given a starter. I did not make my own starter, and I've been making this bread for a little over a year with this starter. This is my starter. First, I started out with a quart jar that I had it in. And if I wanted to make extra, it was hard. It would rise up and make a mess. Anyway, so I put it in a half-gallon jar, mason jar. But it was hard to really mix it up, let that get to the bottom of the jar. So I changed it to this. And this is what I'm using now. Might change to something else. Who knows? I will feed the starter and let it sit until this afternoon, then mix my bread out of it. And then I'll put the remainder in the refrigerator. I don't feed it before I put it back in the refrigerator. Sometimes I might if it's only a little tiny bit in there, but I don't have any problem with it. Once I take, just leave some in there. Once I take it out, feed it, it gets super active. I don't need to feed it before I put it back in the refrigerator. And it's not hard. That's what else I want to say is it is not hard. That's what kept me from messing with sourdough for a very long time. It seemed complicated and hard. It is not. I think it's as hard as you want to make it. And I'm sure there's plenty of people that's probably going to go, blah, 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 you're doing it wrong. Whatever. It is. This is the way I do it. I don't care. I'm not going to do it any other way right now because this works. And you have to find what works for you. If you're going to eat it on the daily, like not buy bread anymore, you have to do it in a way that you are able to do it. And that's what I found for myself. This might not work for you. But anyway, we're going to feed it now. And before we go any further, so you can know if this is even a kind of bread that you would like to make, this is what I make: a sandwich bread. I don't make the crusty, holy loaves. I mean, sometimes it has holes in it, but that's okay. I want it more for sandwich bread. So that's the little bit I have left. That's why I'm making bread now. I have a new scale, but I haven't gotten it out yet. I'm excited about that because I have this one that I got from a thrift store that I've used for years. I'm sure it's not even exact, but it works and the bread turns out wonderful. I usually feed mine about 200 grams of flour and 200 grams of water. And if it's a little bit more, like I'm just going to go ahead, I'll do 223. I try to do equal amounts of flour, equal amounts of water whenever I feed mine. Okay, to sum that part up, it's equal amounts flour and water. And normally I put 200 grams of flour and 200 grams of water. But if I put a little more flour, then I just put the same amount of water. The only other thing that I do is I put my rubber band down when I remember. Sometimes I don't remember. Just so it'll give me a little idea of how much it's risen. After you do it a while, you'll forget to put the rubber band down and you'll look at it and be like, oh, that looks fine. I'm going to mix my bread up. So I will do this later this evening, mix up the bread, and I'll bring y'all back. I'm back and the starter has risen about halfway. Well, my rubber band might not be exactly straight, but whatever. It's active. So I'm going to measure out what I need of that. 450 grams of starter. All right, 454. I'm okay with that because, like I said, it's not that hard. It's not that complicated. It doesn't have to be that exact. You're just making bread for yourself at home. You can do it. Okay, 455 now. See, my scale's not probably right on it, but good enough. And then we're gonna have 341 grams of water or liquid. And I'm going to use a couple eggs in mine because I have lots of eggs. And I forgot my microphone. I'll be right back. And I could totally try to redo all that, but I'm not, because y'all understand. I'm a real person. You are real people. I forgot the microphone. Sorry about that. Okay, and a little note on the starter. I will put this in the refrigerator. I'm not feeding it. There's a nice little bit left in here. And when I take it out to use it again, then I'll feed it. And that's how I do mine. You may want to feed yours before you put it away. But I'm okay with that. All right, so back to the liquid. 341 grams. And I'm going to use eggs for some of my liquid. So we'll see how much these 2 eggs weigh. It's up to 107. And then we're going to put the rest water to meet our 341. And you could just put all water. That's what my original recipe has, just water. But when I have extra eggs, I just put extra eggs. See, I actually have 344, but I don't care because it's going to be fine. And then I'm just going to mix this up. All right. Oh, I think I should have y'all over here. So I'm going to add a tablespoon of salt. Little bit of oil. My recipe says a tablespoon of some kind of fat. Sometimes I put tallow, oil, whatever you have. And then it says, I think 3 tablespoons of honey. But that's how much honey I'm going to put. It's going to mix this. So this is our starter, water, salt, oil, and honey. And eggs in my case, but you don't have to put the eggs. Zero it out. 620 grams of flour. I use this flour from Costco most of the time. I've gotten it from Azure Standard. This one's convenient to get for me, so that's what I use. Oh, oops, I went to 660. But again, I think that's going to be okay. We're going to just mix this up. Oh, 660, and it was supposed to be 620. Okay, I went way over, so we'll definitely see if this is going to be all right. I don't usually go that far over, but 40 grams, it's not a lot. I think it's going to be fine. Okay, so that's that. The dough is mixed. Wet towel on the bottom, dry towel on the top. Will keep your wet towel wet longer. Okay, so that's it for today. And then in the morning, I'll come back, make loaves, let them rise, and bake them. So I'll bring you back in the morning. Okay, it's the next day, and here's our dough, nice and risen. I'm going to put it out on a floured surface and make 2 loaves. I do like to weigh my loaves just because I want them to bake at about the same rate. And I just put them into my greased pans. And we will put them in the oven with the light on, and I'll come back and show you once they've risen. I'm happy with the way that has risen. So I'm going to go ahead and bake it at 350 for 30 minutes, and then I might have to add a little more time to the timer. We'll see. Okay, my 30-minute timer went off, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes ago, but wasn't quite done, so I just keep checking the temperature and until it reads 190 or above for me. I mean, not way above, but it needs to read at least 190. I just rub a little butter on top. Now let them sit here just a minute, and then I will take them out of the pan. You see, they rose up even more once I put them on, once I cut the oven on, whatever. See, nice and risen. There we go, and I'll let them cool just a little bit before I slice them, and I'll show you what it looks like once it's sliced. They really haven't cooled that much, but I'm going to go ahead and slice it because I really want a piece. It's still so soft. You can see the steam still coming off. It's very, very hot. Delicious. I will put some jam on this. I'll let this cool. And I'll put this loaf in a bag for us to eat. And I'll stick this one in the freezer until we get ready to eat it. Because I found that it will be much fresher even if I take it out in like 3 days. It's still way better if I stick it in the freezer, bring it out whenever we want to eat it. That's it for me today. I hope this video inspired you to try to make your own everyday sandwich bread. It's not hard, just takes a little bit of time. You can do it. We'll see you next time.